What's up, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of Down South Off-Road and Outdoor. Now, if you look around in the background, you'll see that today's a kind of special episode because we're finally going to get that exhaust that I've had sitting in the back of Lagatha forever installed. We're not just going anywhere to install it. We're actually getting it installed at Hot Rod Dynamics. So you may remember the 57 Chevy I showed you at the end of the last video. So we're going to do some before and after shots of the exhaust so that you can hear what the factory sounds like. And remember, my factory is old and busted, so it's a little different. But stay tuned. This isn't Jeep related, but let me show you the underneath of this bad boy. We only wish our Jeeps were built this beefy underneath. That is crazy. I told you my exhaust is old and busted, so I want to get a factory sound. So let's get down here and do a startup. Go ahead. So to give you a little background on what I've ordered, you know, Lagatha's only got the 2.5 inch lift, and that hurts my heart. So I want to go higher with her eventually. So we did the AFE Power Twisted Steel Y pipe. That should get the exhaust and drive shaft to clear a little better if we go higher. And then got the Mach Force XP. I think it's a 2.5 inch catback exhaust. I did go with the 14 inch muffler, and I'll tell you, I mainly went with the 14 inch because the 18 inch was out of stock. So this is probably going to be a little louder than I would want, but it'll be fine. Just turning the radio up louder, right? So that's it. That's what $300 gets you guys.
No, get a
patch. Oh. That's what $300 gets you. And now for the big one. You guys probably do all your own exhaust here, right?
Sometimes. Depends on what the customer really wants and what's available for each build.
Don't worry, Jeffrey. I'm going to time lapse it. It's going to look like you went to this box like a ninja.
It's like Christmas morning.
But it's not your shit. It's like, this isn't nearly as fun. So the cool thing about this exhaust is it is supposed to use all factory hangers. There is one hanger that you will add somewhere near the cross member, if I remember correctly. So we're hoping this is a quick and easy bolt on. One of the coolest things about it is it's basically going to get rid of the muffler in the rear. So our new 14 inch muffler is going to go up somewhere near the evap canister. So that whole space in the back where that big factory muffler is, it's going to be gone. There's going to be so much room for activities. And then it's got a little turn down tip. And of course, your little AFE badge. Hey, there's a license plate frame that I'm probably not going to use. There better be a decal in there, AFE. There better be a decal in there. Is that all of it, Jeffrey?
It's not looking good. No decal.
All right. There's a decal. There's a decal. Jeffrey was messing with my emotions. All right, guys. So this is what we're putting on today. I'll do this little walk around shot that looks all professional and shit. That muffler is tiny. This thing is going to be obnoxious, isn't it?
These really ain't. When you put exhaust on them, they're not bad.
All right. Here's to hoping that we're not obnoxious, guys. So the folks at AFE do make sure that you have everything you need. So you are going to be adding a hanger. I think it mounts to the top of the frame. I'm not sure. Jeffrey said he watched the video, so we'll see. But then also you've got the heat shield tape, and I think that's because at one point it's going to get close to the gas tank. So they provide you this to also put in those places. So that's kind of neat. Good job, AFE.
Well, it was at this point that apparently my mic stopped working. So everything important that I said during this install, I'm going to have to try to remember and voice over. So bear with me. I knew the exhaust was in bad shape and had a major leak, but I didn't know why. And as you can see from these bolts on this set, they are completely gone. So they have rusted completely in half. You can still see them hanging out of the flange on the other side. So it's going to be a nightmare to try to plasma cut those out of those flanges. So here you can see how the factory drive shaft, when the Jeep is at full flex, actually sits on the exhaust as it is currently. This is what we will be eliminating with the new AFE Y-pipe. You're going to see the exhaust is in a much different position. So instead of fiddling with a bunch of rusty bolts, Jeffrey decided he just wanted to use the Sawzall to get rid of the factory exhaust pretty quickly. We had things to do. It's a Saturday. This is something that I've always hated about the Jeep Wranglers. I thought that huge muffler in the back was just hideous, and it robs you of so much needed ground clearance in the rear. I'm pretty excited to see what this AFE does in terms of ground clearance for the back. And once again, instead of fooling with the hangers, it was much easier just to start cutting things off to free them up quickly and easily. It's amazing how much space is actually back there once that big clunky muffler is removed. And AFE Power actually makes a mounting kit so that you can mount onboard air back there. We decided to do the same thing for the factory Y-pipe and went ahead and cut it off as well. It's an understatement to say that we weren't looking forward to trying to tackle those rusted bolts on the flanges. Note to self, it makes it a lot easier to deal with that Y-pipe if you remove the skid plate, so go ahead and do that first. We knew these bolts were going to be a pain in the ass, but we didn't realize just how much of a pain in the ass they were going to be. At first we tried grinding, then drilling, so we had to finally break out the plasma cutter. The other side of the Y-pipe wasn't really any better. The bolts were still attached, but they were completely unusable. So it created the same kind of nightmare as the first side. And I know this isn't Jeep related, but I know the people that are watching my channel are equally as interested in this 57 Chevy that I showed a while back. So I had to take this opportunity, since it was on a lift, to show you guys what kind of immaculate beast Hot Rod Dynamics builds. As I show you the underbelly of this Chevy, you're going to notice that you could literally eat off of every component on this car. There's no telling how much time and custom work has went into this. Joe wasn't there this day, so I couldn't ask him all the details. Alright guys, hopefully by now you've got your hands out of your pants and you're finished. Let's get back to the Jeep build. Since the muffler is being relocated, AFE provides you with this custom hanging bracket that will mount on your cross member. Super easy, and the 2 bolts are included. Once you slide in the first section of the Y-pipe, you can immediately see what a difference it makes. It runs the pipe behind your front cross member, and it tucks up nice and even with it so that the cross member will be what gets caught on rocks. So now you can see it's absolutely nowhere near the drive shaft. With one side loosely bolted up, now it was time to install the other side and connect the two together. This exhaust is ran so beautifully, it's really hard to understand why the Jeep engineers didn't do something similar for this platform on their own. Now it's time to button up the other side. This kit can be used for a 2-door or 4-door JK, so if you have the 4-door, be sure to pull that extension out. When it comes time to mount the new muffler, this is where that newly mounted hanger is going to come into play. I was extremely impressed with how well this exhaust fit perfectly with the underbody of the JK. It truly does look like it's a factory-built component. We put everything in loosely before so that we could check all the piping for clearance with all of the moving components underneath. So once everything was good to go, it was time to button it up and tighten it down.
Let's crank this thing up and see what it sounds like. I want to let you hear what the exhaust sounds like inside of the Jeep. So it is very unnoticeable. So when you're just cruising at a normal speed, you barely even notice it. So it's not super annoying. There's not a lot of drone or anything like that. So far, I'm a fan. When you give it a little bit of gas, you can tell there's a slight difference. But yeah, overall, pretty quiet and easy to live with. I want to show you this unassuming 1999 Chevrolet Silverado, right? Is it a Silverado? Just 1500. All right, show me what you're working with at Hot Rod Dynamics. Holy shit. How many horsepower?
770, 780.
780 horsepower. Holy shit.
It looks like a factory install.
It is, yeah. So what is that, an LT5?
LT5.
So what engine is this typically out of?
It's a pre-production Corvette. It's not even a production motor now.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So if you looked at that at a stoplight. But so how does it get any traction?
It does not.
It does not.
You can roll down the
That is ridiculous. All right, guys. So Hot Rod Dynamics has a huge list, and they're a long ways out. So if you've got something you'd like to have built, you better get yourself put on the list. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.